7th century monastic relics discovered beneath a church in northern Poland. In the quiet village of Trójka, Poland, workers renovating a centuries-old church made a discovery that has stunned archaeologists and historians alike. Beneath the church's stone floors lay artifacts dating back to the 7th century, well before Poland officially embraced Christianity in the year 966. These items, buried and hidden for over a millennium, are now believed to be remnants of a forgotten monastic site. For a country whose Christian history has long been anchored to its baptism under Mieszko I, this finding suggests that early Christian communities may have been present far earlier than previously believed. Monks' tools and religious items reveal secret life of an early Christian community. As archaeologists excavated the site, they unearthed items that provide a tangible glimpse into the life of early Christian monks. Cross pendants, stone rosary beads, fragments of robes, incense burners, and chalice fragments were all carefully arranged in layers beneath the current church. These weren't mere grave goods. They were the everyday tools of worship and discipline, hinting at a functioning religious community. The level of craftsmanship and the preserved iconography point toward a group of believers who not only practiced Christianity, but also played a role in preserving and passing it on, long before the faith was state-sanctioned. Remains of ancient stone walls and flooring reveal a forgotten monastery structure. Beneath the foundation of the present-day church, archaeologists uncovered stone wall remnants arranged in what appears to be a rectangular floor plan, with multiple rooms and what may have been a central chapel. The stonework, primitive but deliberate, likely formed the walls of a small monastic cell or sanctuary. Nearby, remains of wooden beams, likely roof supports or framing, were also found, remarkably preserved in the damp soil. This layout corresponds with known architectural styles of early Christian hermitages in Eastern and Central Europe. It suggests that the site once hosted a permanent religious settlement, hidden in plain sight for over 1,000 years. Discovery confirms ancient texts that described a sacred refuge in the area. For decades, historians had debated references in a handful of obscure medieval chronicles to a sacred refuge, or hermit's dwelling, in the forests near Trójka. These accounts were vague, with no names, dates, or clear locations, often dismissed as legend. But this new discovery places a real, physical structure precisely where some of these texts hinted. The matching age of the artifacts and the type of relics found strongly suggest that these chronicles were documenting real communities of believers. Now historians are revisiting these old texts with fresh eyes, hoping to find further references to this and other early sites. Byzantine-inspired crosses suggest foreign influence on early Polish Christianity. One of the most intriguing aspects of the discovery lies in the style of some of the artifacts. Several crosses and decorative motifs bear striking resemblance to designs from Byzantine and Eastern Christian traditions. These styles were uncommon in Western Europe at the time, but were widely used in missionary artifacts in regions bordering the Byzantine Empire. This suggests that early Christianity in Poland may have been influenced not just by Latin missionaries from the West, but also by Eastern Christians who traveled through the Balkans and Carpathians. It paints a picture of a Poland that was not isolated, but spiritually connected to both Christian worlds. A 13th century church was built over the ruins in Trójka without knowledge of the ancient monastery. The current church in Trójka was constructed in the 1200s, centuries after the original monastery had seemingly vanished. Historical records from the time make no mention of an older structure beneath it, suggesting that by the medieval period, the earlier site had already been forgotten. It's possible that the newer church was built unknowingly atop a sacred site, following an oral tradition, or simply chosen for its geographic prominence. This means that generations of worshippers unknowingly prayed above a much older Christian foundation, creating a layered legacy of faith spanning more than 1,000 years. Experts reconsider Poland's timeline of Christianization in light of the Trójka discovery. Until now, the Christianization of Poland was believed to have begun in earnest with the baptism of Duke Mieszko I in 966, marking Poland's official entry into Christendom. But this discovery suggests that Christian communities, possibly small, scattered, and monastic, were already active in the region centuries before. This would place Poland among the earliest regions in Central Europe to host Christian worship. Scholars are now calling for further excavation of early churches across the region, suspecting that similar buried structures may exist elsewhere, waiting to be uncovered. Ancient relics found in Trojka Monastery to be preserved and displayed as part of Poland's early Christian heritage. The unearthed relics are currently undergoing conservation and cataloguing before being transferred to a regional museum. Archaeologists plan to digitally reconstruct the ancient monastery using 3D modeling and ground-penetrating radar data to better understand its original form. For now, this site offers not just a peek into early monastic life, but also a reminder of how layers of history can lie hidden beneath our feet, waiting to reveal the untold stories of faith, resilience, and forgotten foundations. The massive ancient Maya city of Okomtun, discovered deep in the Yucatan jungle. In 2023, archaeologists made a remarkable discovery while surveying a remote stretch of jungle in Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, the ruins of a sprawling, previously undocumented Maya city named Okomtun. Hidden for centuries beneath thick vegetation in the Balamku Ecological Reserve, Okomtun, which translates to stone column in the Yucatec Maya language, had remained untouched, largely because of its remote and difficult-to-access location. What they found was staggering: towering pyramids, expansive plazas, ceremonial structures, and cylindrical stone columns, hinting at a once vibrant political and religious center in the heart of the rainforest. Over 50 ancient structures reveal Okomtun was a major urban center of its time. Initial surveys using LiDAR, light detection and ranging technology, identified over 50 stone structures at Okomtun, many of them rising more than 15 meters in height. These buildings are arranged around central plazas and causeways, indicating a complex urban design consistent with major Maya cities. Archaeologists believe that the site was likely occupied between 600 and 900 CE during the late Classic period, a time when the Maya civilization was at its cultural and architectural peak. The sheer scale of Okomtun challenges previous assumptions about how densely populated and politically organized this part of the Maya world was. Mysterious cylindrical stone columns at Okomtun could be unique to this Maya site. One of the most striking and unusual features at Okomtun is the presence of cylindrical stone columns scattered around public plazas and ceremonial spaces. While columns are not unknown in Maya architecture, the particular shape and placement at Okomtun are considered highly distinctive. Researchers are still unsure of their precise function. They may have supported wooden roofs, served as ritual markers, or held symbolic meaning. Their uniqueness suggests Okomtun may have developed local traditions or architectural innovations that set it apart from better-known Maya sites like Tikal or Palenque. Okomtun's location suggests it was a key link between other powerful Maya cities. Strategically located near rivers and ancient road systems, Okomtun may have once served as a political and economic hub, linking other powerful Maya cities in the region. Its ceremonial core is connected by causeways to outlying residential areas and agricultural lands, suggesting it controlled or influenced a wide territory. This raises the possibility that Okomtun played a central role in regional trade networks and alliances, acting as a mediator between city-states during the politically turbulent late Classic era. Why did Okomtun disappear? Theories point to drought and social collapse. Like many Maya cities, Okomtun appears to have been abandoned by the end of the 10th century. Researchers believe it may have succumbed to the same pressures that caused the widespread Maya collapse: prolonged droughts, resource depletion, political infighting, and rivalry between rival kingdoms. Excavations have revealed signs of hurried construction and even potential fortifications, which may suggest that conflict was a growing concern before the city was deserted. Understanding Okomtun's rise and fall could provide deeper insight into the broader story of Maya decline. The discovery of Okomtun was made possible through cutting-edge LiDAR technology. This breakthrough was largely due to LiDAR scanning, a revolutionary tool that allows researchers to see through dense forest cover using airborne laser pulses. By flying over the jungle canopy, archaeologists mapped the ground surface and identified man-made features that would have taken decades to uncover by traditional excavation. LiDAR has become a game-changer in Mesoamerican archaeology, revealing entire cities, causeways, terraces, and reservoirs hidden beneath jungle growth. And Okomtun is one of the most exciting discoveries to emerge from this technology so far. Okumtun challenges existing maps of Maya civilization and its southern frontiers. The location and scale of Okumtun are forcing experts to redraw maps of the ancient Maya world. Previously considered a marginal zone with limited urban development, the southern Yucatan is now understood to have hosted complex and centralized cities with impressive ceremonial architecture. Okumtun proves that the Maya lowlands were more interconnected than once believed, with cultural and political influence stretching farther than expected. This is rewriting the way archaeologists understand the southern frontier of the classic Maya civilization. Ongoing excavations at Okumtun may reveal temples, tombs, and undeciphered glyphs. The story of Okumtun is still unfolding. Archaeologists have only just begun to dig into the site's temples and explore its inner chambers. There's hope that royal tombs, buried inscriptions, and painted murals could be hidden within the structures, potentially offering new names, dates, or mythological stories from the late Classic period. As work continues, Okumtun promises to yield secrets that could redefine what we know about the Maya civilization's reach, artistry, and spiritual worldview. An iron dagger found in King Tutankhamun's tomb puzzles archaeologists. When British archaeologist Howard Carter uncovered the tomb of King Tutankhamun in 1922, he found a trove of stunning treasures. But one item stood out: a slender iron dagger resting beside the young pharaoh's body. At first glance, it seemed merely ornamental, but experts quickly realized that this iron blade dated to around 1350 BCE, centuries before Egypt was believed to have mastered ironworking. How could a Bronze Age civilization produce such an advanced metal object? Scientific tests confirm the dagger's iron came from a meteorite, not the Earth. To solve the mystery, scientists analyze the dagger using X-ray fluorescent spectrometry, a method that reveals the elemental makeup of materials without damaging them. The results were surprising. The blade contained around 11% nickel and traces of cobalt, levels far higher than found in Earth-based iron ores. These ratios matched the composition of known meteorites. In other words, the dagger wasn't forged from terrestrial materials at all. It was made from meteoritic iron, literally iron that fell from the sky. Before the Iron Age, meteoric iron was the only source for advanced metal tools. This artifact provides rare insight into a technological gap in human history. Before the Iron Age began around 1200 BCE, most cultures relied on copper and bronze. Iron tools didn't appear in Egypt until centuries after Tutankhamun's reign. But meteorites offered a natural supply of iron, though incredibly scarce. This meant that any iron object crafted during that time had to come from a celestial source and would have been considered incredibly rare and valuable. Only elites, perhaps even royalty, could possess such items. The Egyptians called meteoric iron the metal of the sky in ancient texts. The linguistic clues also back up the science. Ancient Egyptian writings refer to iron as bian pet, which translates directly to iron of the sky. This term appears in inscriptions long before iron tools became common in daily life. It suggests that Egyptians knew the iron they encountered had a celestial origin. They may have witnessed meteorites falling or collected fragments from impact sites. These would have been regarded as divine gifts, suitable for gods or pharaohs who were seen as gods on Earth. Tutankhamun's dagger may have been a foreign gift made from star metal. The craftsmanship of the dagger, complete with a gold handle and decorated sheath, suggests it may have come from outside Egypt. Some historians believe it was a gift from the Mitanni Empire, a powerful kingdom in the Near East with which Egypt had close ties during Tutankhamun's time. Letters from that era confirm that royal families exchanged luxurious items, including blades made of iron. If this dagger was indeed imported, it would also reflect a global appreciation for meteorite iron and its sacred connotations. Other meteorite artifacts have been found, but none as sophisticated as this. This isn't the only example of ancient humans using meteorite iron. Beads made from meteoritic iron dating back to 3200 BCE have been found in Egyptian burial sites. A few arrowheads and tools from other ancient cultures have tested positive for extraterrestrial iron as well. However, none match the level of craftsmanship or ceremonial importance of Tutankhamun's dagger. It remains the most refined and high-status example of pre-Iron Age metallurgy using materials that came from beyond Earth. The space dagger found in King Tut's tomb sparks debate over ancient knowledge of astronomy and the cosmos. The fact that ancient Egyptians could recognize, value, and even shape metal from meteorites suggests they may have paid close attention to celestial phenomena. While they likely didn't understand the true nature of space or planetary science, they observed the night sky carefully, built temples aligned with stars, and connected divine meaning to what fell from above. Tutankhamun's star blade adds another layer to the question: just how much did ancient people understand about the cosmos they worshipped? Tutankhamun's space-age dagger blurs the line between history and the heavens. At its core, this 3,000-year-old iron dagger challenges our assumptions about ancient capabilities. It tells a story not only of advanced craftsmanship, but of how early civilizations blended myth, science, and spiritual meaning into their most treasured objects. This was more than a weapon, it was a symbol of cosmic power and divine legitimacy. And perhaps more than any other artifact in the tomb, it reveals how far the ancient world reached, literally to the stars.